So in today's video, I had to narrow down 32 coins on a watch list down to 9. I recently did a video on my holdings. It is a little bit out of date even though I did it a month ago. The production was crap, so if you want me to do another one, let me know. My name is Ash and welcome to the channel. If you're new around here, please hit the like button, it majorly helps. However, I want to know from you what you think of my watch list essentially. Watch the video and let me know. So I do this every single cycle. I make a watch list. I then go and check to see how they're doing every now and again to see if they're developing, see if they actually become fair value. And a lot of the assets that I wanted to buy didn't drop enough in my opinion. So therefore I left them alone. However, what I do feel is that this watch list is pretty decent and most importantly, I think most of them will survive. I know for a fact that this video won't please everyone. I know some people will have different things. I know people will be like asking questions regarding why I have not picked certain things. However, I have gone for well-established stuff, most of them anyways. However, I am looking for very good risk to reward in clear and obvious investments. If you do want to keep up to date with what I do with my investment journey, please check out my Patreon. I do a full journal. So let's go over to the screen and over to the watch list. I have put this on CoinMarketCap. Feel free to follow me on there. I have a link below. You can also follow the watch list as and when you please. So this video is kind of sponsored by my company, Learning Crypto. If you use discount code Mobster, you will get 10% off. Details on the screen, details are below. If you want to learn, genuinely do it. It will change your life, trust me. Don't be fumbling around YouTube because you will lose. Anyways, let's go on to the watch list. I'm not going to hide it. I'm just going to show it as it is. You can see this on the CoinMarketCap, thing, the little beta community thing that they've got. It's on my profile. And these are the coins that I had. Now, obviously, I've not scrolled down yet. Now, I want to explain a few things. Now, this was built... Starting off, it wasn't on this, by the way, I've just put it on here. It was built on a random note on my phone, on Notion and stuff like that. And I've been adding to it as and when I go throughout the course of time. Started in end of 2021 into 2022, and it's basically been built over the last, 8-9 months. Now, we're at the point where I'm fully invested in the market, as you know, right? So the main reasons why I didn't invest in certain things, I want to make this clear, is probably due to obvious things. Maybe some manipulation, Solana for example, in terms of what happened there. You've got risk to reward, fair value. They didn't drop enough for me to get interested. For example, BNB is a great example of this. If BNB went really low, like $150, $120, I'd be like, go on then. I'd probably buy it. Instead, I had to change my tactic a little bit and go with something else which offered better rewards, okay? So it makes sense. Now, the big rule that I have for all this is I always do my research again and again and again. A lot of people get stuck and married to bags thinking, oh, it's going to be fine. Sometimes it's not, right? So I like to go for proven, obvious things. So you can see on the first, element, there's a lot of big cap coins there. If they're going to make me 3, 4, 5x, cool. I've got the size to do it. Now, that's the difference with me. I've been around for a while. Not to be big-headed, but I started investing in 2016. So my accumulation pots are going up and up and up every single time. So I don't have to go for the low-cap coins. I'm not really interested in them, to be fair. I have got 1 or 2 lower-cap coins, but that's roughly about it. So let's talk about some obvious picks. So obviously, Ethereum, that is on my list. I had Cardano, and I've now removed that from my investment portfolio. Why? I wanted to separate my risk a little bit. I had too many altcoins, so I did a video. I'll probably redo that video to be fair, over my investment strategy and my portfolio. And what I've done, I've sold it and I've put it into other things. I like Cardano, but I think to myself, I've got too many ecosystems and I wanted to kind of just spread the risk a little bit lower to make potentially more money, which makes sense. Now, Matic, you can see that there, very, very clear. Didn't drop enough. Simple as that. Even though there's a little bit of FUD around it at the moment, it just didn't drop enough. Simple as that. Very, very simple. Solana, too much FUD. I really wanted Solana. I'm annoyed with myself a little bit because I was tweeting about this ages ago, saying, right, anything below $15, I'm going to buy it. And it went to $8. But with the FTX kind of crumble, I just didn't have the bottle to do it, which is fair play. Not that fussed anymore. Polkadot, as you know, love it. Avalanche, interesting pick. Didn't go for it in the end, however. My company has, so my Learning Crypto company does invest in Avalanche. Atom, again, a situation where it didn't fall down enough. Fantastic asset, just didn't fall enough. Aptos, the cliff and the emissions are too high for this one, for me personally. I think it will bleed a little bit more and it will change in terms of how the supply metrics are. So I'm waiting to see how it does with that. May have missed it, but it doesn't really bother me. VeChain, a fantastic asset that I love a lot. However, I've had it too many times now and I've not bothered with it. I have, however, got some little thing with that, but I'm not going to explain more. If you're in my Patreon, you'll know what I'm on about. Near Protocol, fantastic, love it. You know I own it. One downside to it was obviously the FTX and the Genesis elements to it. So it did fall quite a lot, but I was buying it up. I was pretty happy with buying it up. So even though Solana was like similar sort of thing, it felt more safer going for Near essentially at the time. Hedra Hashgraph, liked it, but I just didn't really, I don't know. I like it, but I don't know. I just wasn't 100% sure on it. That's all. Same with Algorand. I was like, yeah, it's a great asset, but I'm like, it's like, do I really want to go boom into it? But I didn't. Quant, another one that I feel didn't drop enough. Personally, I think it should have dropped a little bit more, but it hasn't. It still remained a lot of hype, but also central bank digital currencies is very linked to it. I hate them. I hate the idea of it. And I don't really want to be, invest in something that I hate the idea of. So, yeah, that's one of those things, isn't it? Phantom, solid, but a lot of upheaval in the past in terms of who left and why they left and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't 100% sure. And I did my research and I wasn't really 100% sure of whether I would do well in it or not. BitDAO, that was my replacement for BNB, if you recall. An exchange token, has its own ecosystem. It's doing pretty well, to be fair, over the course of the last week or so, as you can see. So yeah, really like it. Aave and Maker and even Frax, big ecosystem elements around the Ethereum ecosystem for DeFi. Really, really interesting assets. And I thought, yeah, cool. One of them I do actually hold a little percentage of, but again, Patreon members, you'll know which one. Zilliqa. Even though they blocked me on social media, I still have some element of like, ooh, will it do well? And even if yes, they've sacked the team 3 times or whatever, I don't know. They keep replacing things and keep changing the narrative. There's potential money to be made there. But when I did my research, it just didn't fill me with confidence, the fact that what's changed. So I was like, no, thank you. Loopring, a really good layer 2 operating kind of functional system essentially for obviously the Ethereum network, but I picked something else. Oasis, a solid asset, privacy layer 1 blockchain, pretty awesome as well. A-Star and Kusama, part of the ecosystem of Polkadot. A-Star has done very well, but as you know, I picked Glimmer instead, even though they're very, very similar in market cap. They've both done okay considering, realistically. Injective, fantastic asset. Covered this in 2019. Always had an eye on it, thinking, it's pretty cool, this. But I went against it. Maybe one of the things that I may regret this cycle. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. I've gone for other things instead. But it has done very, very well over the last few weeks. Ocean Protocol, done very, very well over the last few weeks, again, with the AI narrative. Very, very different type of coin. Pretty cool. Reserve rights, as you know, I own this. I hold this. I'm pretty happy to hold this. I'm pretty, I'm enjoying the ecosystem updates. Metis, I own it, as you know. Layer 2 scaling solution. I needed one, and I went with Metis, the one with the least amount of shit around it in terms of VCs and stuff, so I was pretty happy with that one. Aurora was the one that I was interested in because I wanted a near ecosystem, so I went with Octopus in the end, and Aurora was one of the ones that was an option too. So they're both very, very interesting. In terms of low cap, this is a very, very low cap coin. This one's lowish, but not as low, if you can see. But you can see quite a lot of them were quite big-ish assets. I'm not really interested in low cap gems. I will be doing videos on them, certain things, so certain low cap coins I can cover, or certain metrics around market cap I can cover. But I just wasn't really, fully interested in that sort of situation. So that's kind of going over it. But the main crux of it is fair value, and I think a lot of people fail to see that in terms of investing. You want to try and buy something that you feel you're going to get risk reward. It's an odd one because a lot of people like to just invest now and whenever, and they're not looking at the metrics. Now, I like to look at certain systems, certain metrics in terms of the chart. You'll know this in terms of dominance. And a lot of things were falling massively in 2022, hugely. And some opportunities here are huge. Even when we look at these, right, in terms of market cap, they are low. Even though they're ranked at a certain number, the likes of Avalanche, for example, still can deliver a lot of returns. Even Polkadot, Solana, even Cardano, even though it is ranked where it is. So you got to look at these numbers and you got to figure out, right, what's got a good network effect, what's got a good community, what's got a good roadmap, what's got a good everything in terms of right establishment. Can they do well? Near Protocol, for example, was all-time high $21. Didn't really get going. Its ecosystem's grown massively over the last few weeks, and even few months has been just growing naturally. Nice to see. But that is today's video pretty much done. Nice and simple. If you do want to follow me on this thing here, you can. You can see me if I go onto my community page, I believe. There we go. There's my profile. I wrote something random. No followers yet, so feel free if you want to follow me. This is my actual page, and if you want to click on my watch list, you can view it here. I may well keep on top of this one and change it and edit it and adapt it so you can see what I'm doing at all times. Anyways, enjoy.